name is Ernesto, and I wanted to make this video to tell you my story so that you could hear what God has been doing in my life. I don't know how to make cool videos that are fancy with lights and smoke and fire and dancers and things like that. I just don't know how to do it. So it's just going to be boring like this. But I think it's pretty cool what God's been doing, so I wanted to be able to share it with you guys. I was saved pretty young. I was saved, kind of grew up in the church, knowing about God, learning about God. But when I became around 16 years old, I had to make a choice. God really showed me that in order to be a Christian, I had to give my life over to Him. I had to give everything to Him. And from about 16 to 18 to 19, I didn't really want to do it. I had to wrestle. I went back and forth. I didn't know if I wanted to really give everything to Him. But God changed my heart. And in the process of changing my heart, He made me passionate about missions. He made me passionate about Mexico, and particularly this one orphanage that was down in Ensenada. It's called Door of Faith Orphanage. And what He did in my life was He created a way for me to be able to go there and serve there. And so in April of 2010, I did. I left everything. I kind of dropped out of school. Maybe I wasn't smart. Maybe it was. I don't know. I sold a bunch of stuff, and I went down to Mexico, and I went to live at this orphanage. And there I met my wife. I fell in love with her. We were doing the same thing. We had the same job. We had the same passion. God had been preparing our hearts for so much longer beforehand, before we even met each other, just for that time where we would be able to come together as husband and wife, and we'd be able to be one flesh, and we'd be able to be a unit together. But as we were there and as we were walking with kids, we found that we really need to be prepared. We need to be built up. We need to be equipped. Because we weren't. We were down there with an empty toolbox, and we were trying to work, we were trying to do all these great things, but we didn't have the foundation, we didn't have the tools. So we started looking for schools, started looking for places for us to study, to learn, and we found Eternity Bible College. And so I applied. I figured maybe I'd be able to get in, maybe not, I don't know, but I did. I got in, and we moved, and we left. And that day that we left the orphanage was the hardest day of our lives. I would say, as a married couple, that we had to say goodbye to those kids, and our hearts were broken. I was crying, my wife was crying, the kids were crying, teenage boys were crying. It was hard. But it was sweet too, because God started a new journey, a new chapter of our life. He brought us into this church called Living Stones. And this church that we're a part of, we're a family. And we carry each other's burdens, and we love each other, and we walk with each other. And never once have I worried about anything really, because I know that my church has got my back. They're my family. It doesn't matter what happens. And I remember the first day that I went to orientation, I sat down, and the president of the school, he stood up and he said, "You know what, guys? This program's going to tear you apart. It's going to rip your foundation apart, and it's going to change your life. Because things that you have believed about God, you're going to study His Word, and you're going to realize they're not true. And that's going to be hard." And I can tell you, because I don't want to lie to you, that it's been hard. It's been tough. And to learn how nasty and sinful and broken I am compared to this holy and awesome and righteous God, it's been hard. And it's still hard. And as my foundation is torn away, it's even harder. But the fact that we have this church around us that loves us, that cares for us, that walks with us, that I have these professors who love me and who actually care about my life and care about my relationship with the Lord, I wouldn't change it for anything.
To the hope that